going to start recording, and I will start by sharing my screen with you. And I've got a couple of polls also today, so you'll be able to have a go at some of those. Also, at the end of the talk today, if there's anyone who needs a partner, please stay on the call and we'll see if we can find partners for everyone. So let's have a look at a few hands. Here's one where you as South opened one heart, your partner bid a spade, you rebid two diamonds, that shows two suits, normally 5 in the first and at least 4 in the second. Your partner bid 3 hearts and you ended up in 4 hearts, and the opponents lead a spade, and down comes dummy, and let's stop to try and make a plan. First of all, what do we think of the bidding there? We bid hearts and then diamonds, and although my partner's got 4 diamonds for me, because my bidding should show 5 hearts and 4 diamonds, they're actually right to support the hearts rather than the diamonds. You want to be playing in a major if you can. And they've got 11 points, so they're right to bid 3 hearts, and we end up in 4 hearts. The opponents lead the king of spades, and I'd like you to stop and count how many losers you expect altogether. We'll count the losers from the point of view of the hand with the long trump, that's your own hand, but taking into account any strength in dummy. So look at the 4 suits and tell me what's the total number of losers you expect. It's not a poll, so do unmute yourself and let me know what you think.
3.
There's a vote for 3. Any other thoughts?
3,
Yeah, I think we've got 1 spade loser. We hope we'll just lose 1 heart. We're missing 5 trump, but if they divide evenly, it's hopefully just 1 there. And we've got the ace of diamonds to lose. So it's those 3 tricks where we're going to lose there. Okay? So let's suppose they take the first spade, and then they lead another spade, which of course we ruff. And I'm going to ask you a Zoom poll question now, which is, so don't answer verbally. You've just won the 4 of hearts. And the question is, which suit should you play now? Which suit should South play now? Have a little think about it. Don't answer verbally. And I'm just going to launch a poll now. Okay, this is very interesting for me. Maybe it'll be interesting for you in a moment. We're up to 82% have voted. Any more? I'm going to end the poll now and share the results with you. And the majority have gone for diamonds, 52%. Then 32% went for hearts and 16% went for clubs. The majority going for diamonds there. And let's close that. Hopefully that's gone from your screen now. And let's look at that. Those of you who've chosen to play a diamond, can you tell me why? You're obviously trying to force out the ace of diamonds, aren't you? The only danger with that is that because you have so many diamonds, you are putting yourself at risk of a ruff. Depending on how the diamonds fall, if you play a diamond and they take their ace, you've got 9 diamonds. There is a chance that the opponents may be able to get a ruff. Okay. Those of you who've played a club, can any of you tell me why you've gone for clubs? Anyone like to explain why?
So that if the opposition play a club, you can trump it either yourself or with your
Okay,
partner.
so you're planning to play 2 clubs,
Yeah,
and then what?
good question.
Okay, I
uh, I,
mean,
I
I mean,
think
you
a heart, perhaps.
you can play clubs, but it doesn't really help that much
Mm.
unless the opponents, gain the lead and play another club back. That could help you, but really, I'd be more inclined to think about drawing trumps, or at least starting to draw trumps. Um, Playing diamonds is possible, but there's a risk of a ruff, and I think it's safer just to start by drawing trumps. In other words, start with the ace, and while we're playing the trumps, of course, we're counting how many are still out. You can do that a variety of ways. Some people recommend you start by counting how many trumps did the opponent start with, which was 5 here. So after one round, they're now down to 3. And if you draw a second round and everyone follows, they're now down to 1. And that is a high trump. And when there's a high trump out, it's very often the case that you should just leave it out. Don't attempt to draw the queen. Just go about your other business. They can ruff with that queen whenever they like, but it won't hurt.
Yeah.
So what you might do is you might play a diamond. If they win the diamond, let's actually bring up the 4 hands at this point. It's actually not a bad idea for West, having got in with their ace of diamonds, to actually play that last trump, because they know that's going to draw 2 of your trumps. But you're still okay here, because whatever they play back now, let's suppose they play another spade, you can ruff that with your last trump, as it turns out, but now the rest of your hand is good. You've got good diamonds and good clubs. So we're just going to
Yeah.
cash our diamonds and then cash our clubs, and we'll make 10 tricks on that hand. So that was sort of relatively simple, but you did have to think about controlling the trumps. Where
Mhm.
I see some people go wrong on a hand like this is they draw that last trump. So let's play this hand again. So they take their spade, we ruff that, and we start as we did before with the ace and king of hearts. But now, if we make the mistake of drawing that last trump, we're now in a bit of problem, because West will win, and if they play another spade, we may decide to ruff that one, but now we're out of trumps, and now we haven't established the diamonds either. So now when we play the diamonds, the opponents will get in, and they'll be able to cash a spade, and we won't be able to prevent that. Whatever they play now will make the rest, but we will be held to 9 tricks because we drew that extra round of trump. Okay, if you sorry, just muting everyone. There's a bit of background noise there. So any questions on that? The other way that I see people go wrong on this hand is they decide to ruff spades. So let's imagine they lead a spade and you ruff just as before. And some people see that they've now got that void in the south hand in spades, and they have a great urge to ruff another spade. Now, ruffing a spade means that you're ruffing in the hand with the long trump suit, and that will rarely help you. If you think about it, if we go back to this point here, you're going to make all but one of those trumps. You're going to make 4 heart tricks here, and each time you ruff in the hand with the long trump suit, you are not gaining any extra tricks. You're just cutting down on your own trumps. And in a situation like this, even if you started with 5 trump here, you can have trump problems. So this is what not to do. If you cross over to the club so that you can ruff a spade, you can do that, but it's actually shortened your trump holding. So now you only have 3 trump left, and West has the same number as trump as you. So if you now do what we tried to do before, cashing the ace and then the king, now when we play a diamond, West can get in with their ace and can actually draw all our remaining trump with the queen. And now we have no trumps left. We've lost control of trumps, and the opponents will be able to take the ace of spades. Fortunately, that's the only trick they can make. Whatever they play back now, they'll play a club and we'll make the rest. But again, we'll be held to 9 tricks there, and that was all caused by us trying to ruff in the long hand. So I see this happen so often. People try to ruff in the long hand, and it rarely is a good idea. Okay? Any comments on that? Here's another one. We start off here with 1 spade. We've got a very nice hand. My partner bids 1 no trump. And it's a difficult call, I think, here. You've got 12, they've got 17 points, a very nice spade suit. You're not absolutely sure how many spades your partner has. 1 no trump could be a balanced hand, or it could be a fairly unbalanced hand. So let's suppose you decide to bid 4 spades. 3 spades is an alternative there. And anyway, you end up in 4 spades, and the opponents lead a heart. They lead the king of hearts. So let's stop to make a plan on this hand. And there are different ways you can plan hands. Sometimes you may find it quite useful to count your expected winners, or you also sometimes need to look at your losers. So let's look at the trump suit to start with. We've got 8 trump here. We've got 6 here and 2 there. Now, if we're lucky and the spades divide 3 and 2, we'll make all of those, won't we? We'll make the ace, king, queen, 8, 6, 2. We'll make 6 tricks there. We've also got at least 4 or 5 tricks in diamonds, and we've got a club there. So if we could make all those, we'd make maybe 6 spades, 5 hearts, and a club. That will be 12 tricks. Unfortunately, on this hand, we're not going to make 12 tricks because we can see the opponents have started in hearts and they're going to make 2 tricks there. But we're going to try to make as many as we can after that. So they take a heart, play another heart, and we ruff that 3rd round. Okay. What are you going to play next? Any suggestions?
Draw the trumps.
Yeah, draw the trump. Yeah. I mean, at some point we want to take the diamonds, but we do want to get rid of trumps, or otherwise we won't be able to do that. So let's start with the trumps. We'll play, remember the opponent started with 5 trump here, so we draw 1 round, everyone follows. Now they're down to 3 trumps. We play another round, and we get a slightly bad news that West discards. So there are still 2 trump out, the jack and the 10, and East has got them both. Now let's suppose we draw one of those, but decide to leave the last trump, the jack of spades, out. Well, now what's going to happen is we can try to start taking the diamonds. Actually, I'll bring up the 4 hands at this point. We'll start by winning in the shorthand with the ace, crossing over to the king. But when we play the 3rd round, East still has a trump, can ruff in with that trump. And now, even though we've got good diamonds in dummy, we've got the jack and the 7, we have no way of getting there. So if the opponents now play a club, we can win that. We can play the last 2 spades, but in the end we'll lose a club, and we'll be held to just 9 tricks on that one. So what could we have done differently on that one? Well, let's play this one again, just as it was. We ruff the heart. We start drawing trumps with the ace, the king, and the queen. And this hand is an exception to the general guideline that if there's a 1 high trump, you leave it out. Because, as you saw before, if we leave out that jack, it will prevent us from running the diamonds. what we want to do on this hand is get rid of that last high trump. Okay, get rid of that, and then whatever they play back, we'll be able to win and then take our diamond. So if they play a club here, we'll take our ace, and now we'll run our diamonds like before, but they won't be able to rough in, and we'll be able to get rid of all our losers on the good diamonds. So that way we'll make 10 tricks there, even with a bad trump break, even with a 4-1 trump break, we can make 10 tricks there. Any comments or questions on that? Do interrupt me. And here's another one for you. And actually, we're going to start this one with a poll on your bid. North, your partner opened 1 diamond. You responded a spade. North rebid 2 clubs. And now I'd like you to tell me, what should South bid on this hand? Have a little think. And I will launch a poll to ask you your opinion. What should South bid now? So here comes the poll. What should South bid? And there are your options. If you're on an iPad, you can close the poll and then relaunch it to because I know the poll hides the screen. You can close it and relaunch it. We're up to 75%. We've got a very fairly even response here. No one's gone for something else. Okay, we'll end the poll there. We've got just 79% of you voted on this one. And the majority here have gone for 2 no trump, 43%. Then 30% went for 2 hearts. 22% went for 2 spades. 4% went for 3 spades. So what is the right answer? Well, this hand is a tricky one because you have 12 points here. So opposite an opening hand, you've probably got enough for game here, but you're not really sure which game. This is actually a good hand to bid 2 hearts on, not to show the heart suit, but as 4th suit forcing. It's a bid that some people forget about, but 2 hearts here is a good bid because by bidding the 4th suit, it's an instruction to your partner to do one of 2 things if they can. First, if they have a heart stopper, they'll respond in no trump. Or second, if they don't have a heart stopper but maybe have 3 spades, they can support your spades. So a good bid here, which is an artificial bid, is 2 hearts. And your partner should alert that as 4th suit forcing. If they're asked about it, they would say it does not promise a real heart suit. Although you happen to have 4 hearts here, it's not really a stopper. So I like a bid of 2 hearts here. The other bids that people made, those of you who bid 2 spades, I definitely don't agree with that, because bidding a new suit that's been previously bid at the lowest level, so because you bid 1 spade, if you now bid 2 spades, should show a minimum hand. A minimum hand for a responder is 6 to 9 points. So I don't like 2 spades. 3 spades is more reasonable. That would show something a little bit extra, maybe 11 points, but really 2 hearts is probably the best choice. So if you bid 2 hearts, it turns out that your partner has not got a stopper in hearts. In fact, they're void in hearts, but they do have 3 spades for you, so they bid 2 spades. And now you know you have an 8-card fit in spades. I think you should bid 4 spades, possibly 3 if you just wanted to invite. But I think 12 points with that shape should be a good hand to bid 4 spades on. Incidentally, when you bid 2 hearts here and it's alerted as an artificial bid, West here has a chance to double. A double of an artificial bid should show strength in that suit. And in particular, they are suggesting to their partner that if, for example, the opponents end up in 3-no trump and maybe East is on lead, they should lead a heart because you are saying that you've got very good hearts. So a double of an artificial bid here, like 2 hearts, which is 4 suit, doesn't promise a real heart suit, should show a very good holding in that suit, asking your partner to lead that. Here, though, it doesn't really apply because North bids 2 spades and you end up in 4 spades and then West is on lead. Okay? And let's suppose West leads the King of Hearts, and let's just have a look at this from declarer's point of view for a moment. If you have any questions about the bidding, let me know. Otherwise, they will lead a heart, and let's stop to make a plan and try and identify where we've got tricks we might lose. How many trumps do you think you're going to lose?
One.
We hope it's just 1. We hope we don't lose more than 1 trick there. We've got 8 there. So we hope it's just 1. Now, we have a lot of heart losers in the south hand. But the other thing worth thinking about is how many tricks are we going to make in the minor suits. We've got a lot of tricks in the clubs and in the diamonds. I mean, in fact, I hope to make, there's a good chance to make 5 club tricks and at least 3 diamond tricks. So that's 8. And if we only lose a spade, that is 4 tricks there. So we hope to make 12 tricks. In other words, what I'm saying is that we hope to be able to discard any heart losers on the clubs and the diamonds, and that might lead to 12 tricks. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I'm going to look at this being played 3 different ways. We rough that first heart, and let's suppose we start by drawing trumps. And if we start by taking the king and then the ace, we get the good news that the trumps divided evenly. The problem is there's still the queen out, and we're going to lose to that at some point. And the problem is that we have heart losers in the south hand. So what we're going to do on this hand is try to get rid of as many of those heart losers as we can before the opponents can get in. We might start by taking some club tricks, maybe cross over with a diamond. And what we're going to do is try to play our winners and discard some hearts. But at some point, there's a danger that the opponents will come in with their queen of spades and we'll be left with 2 heart losers here. So the opponents will now be able to cash 2 hearts, and although we'll take the rest, we'll be held to 10 tricks. We'll just make our contract there, but we ended up losing 2 hearts as well as a spade. Could we have done any better? Let's try this one again. And the thing on this hand is to realize that you're going to lose a spade here, and it's a good idea to lose it early on. So let's see what happens if we do that. We rough the first heart, and knowing that we expect to lose a spade, let's lose it now. Let's lose it while we still have the 9 of spades in dummy. So we deliberately lose that one now rather than later. If the opponents play another heart, of course, we'll still have a trump in dummy to rough it with. And now we just want to hope that the trumps divide evenly. So we'll come back to our hand with the ace of clubs, and we can draw the last two trumps with the same distribution as before. We'll get those trumps out, and now we can just take our other winners. There are no more trumps, so we can cash the jack of clubs, cross over to the diamonds, cash our diamonds, and cash our remaining clubs, and we'll throw away all our heart losers. So that's how we're going to make 12 tricks on this hand, by giving up a trump, but giving it up early, so we have control of the trump suit, and so they can't cash any hearts. Anyone have any comments or questions on that?
That's a tricky one. I might have to look at it again to
It is
look
tricky.
at the, yeah.
It is tricky. There is actually a third way you can play this hand, which we'll just do, and that is to try to ruff your hearts. So rather than discard them on that, you can try to ruff as many hearts as possible in dummy. The only problem is you won't be able to ruff them all. So if they play that way, what we might do is play this by ruffing our heart. So we might ruff a heart, play another club back here, so we can ruff a third heart. And that's quite good because it gets rid of some of your heart losers. But you still have a heart loser. And if you try to, you might try to get rid of that by discarding it on a club. But then it depends on the distribution. So if we discard our heart there, the opponents may be able to ruff that, and we're still going to lose another trump. So if they play another heart now, we can ruff that in our own hand. We'll try to draw trumps here, but there's still a high trump out, so we're going to lose one more trick. We'll take the rest except for one trick, and we'll end up, I think, with 11 tricks there. So 3 different ways to play that there. And the middle way was the best way there, really. You were able to ruff 3 times, but you only made 11 tricks on that last one. Okay. We've got one more to look at then. And actually this time I've got a couple of bidding questions for you. So this is one where you are playing transfers. So your partner opens 1 no trump. You've got 12 points there. So you bid 2 diamonds, and your partner bids 2 hearts. And my question for you now is, again, don't answer verbally. What are you going to rebid as North now? So those of you who play transfers should be able to tell me what is your rebid. I'm going to launch this poll now. Let's go through the answers. The majority have gone for 2 no trump, and then 18% have gone for 3 hearts, 23% gone for 4 hearts, and 1 person said pass. And I think there are 2 reasonable bids on this hand. 2 no trump is, I think, the best response. And 2 no trump here shows a 5-card suit with invitational values to game. I think you should bid either 2 no trump, or if you wish, you could bid 3 no trump. That's forcing to game. That would say you're upgrading your hand. That's reasonable as well. But the bids you should not be making are 3 hearts or 4 hearts or pass. Those are all mistakes. Okay? You only bid, for example, 3 hearts if you had a 6-card heart suit. Your partner may only have 2 hearts for you. So with only a 5-card suit, you should not insist on hearts. You should give your partner the option. You should say you have an invitational hand with 5 hearts, and you should rebid 2 no trump on this hand. So that's my choice. So you bid 2 no trump. And then the very last question is, let's look at the South hand and see if you can tell me what you think South should bid on this hand. This is the last question for you today. What should South rebid here? Okay, so let's share the results with you. And we have a dead heat between 3 no trump and 4 hearts, with one person passing. Now, let's think about this. Your partner, by transferring to hearts and then really bidding no trump, has shown exactly a 5-card heart suit um, and invitational value, something like 11 or 12 points. Now, I've only got 13 points, so I need to think about my hand whether I want to accept the invitation. This time I think I do, because I've got that good source of tricks in clubs. That's a very nice feature. So I'm going to accept the invitation. And because I have 3 hearts and my partner's got 5, I'm going to bid 4 hearts. Those of you who said 3 no trump are wrong. Sorry. You need to study your transfer bidding. Okay, you should accept the invitation and go back to hearts because you have an 8-card fit in hearts. All right. So that's how the bidding should go on this.
Tony,
Yeah.
my problem is unless somebody says so, it is a transfer. I can't recognize. So how do I recognize the transfer?
All right. So do you play transfers?
Well, no, but I just learned in
Do
one
you
lesson.
if you don't play transfers, then this doesn't apply to you. And if you do play transfers, this is how you must play them. All right.
Yeah.
2 diamonds is a transfer to hearts. Did that answer your question? I don't think it did.
I just want to know how, I mean, I want to learn transfer. So
Okay.
how would I recognize that? That is my question.
Well, if you don't, have you learned how to play transfers or not?
In one of your lessons, but
All
I
right.
haven't played yet.
No. Well, so you need to study them, I think, a bit before you decide to play them. So if you're
Okay,
not
thank
sure of
you.
them, don't play them. But that's how this should go. After 2 no trump, South should bid 4 hearts, and that should end the auction there. Okay. So you should end up in 4 hearts. Let's suppose the opponents leave the king of diamonds, and let's try and make a plan. Now, when you're playing transfers, you're going to look at your hand from the point of view of the hand with the long trump suit, which is going to be dummy. And if we have a look at this hand, we can see we've got quite a few losers here. We've got 2 spade losers. We're going to lose at least 1 trump, maybe 2. And we've also got some diamond losers. Now, there are a couple of possibilities here. We could aim to discard some of those losers on the clubs, so we may be able to set up the clubs. We've also got a chance to get rid of a diamond loser by roughing it in our own hand, and that might be a good option. So maybe we're going to try and do that. It's actually, although it may be tempting to always play your ace here, there is some advantage here in not playing your ace, but playing low here, because if the opponents now play another diamond, you can win that with the ace, and now you're in the ideal position to rough a diamond. So let's suppose we rough a diamond here. So we'll rough that one now. Okay. So we've got rid of 1 diamond loser, but we've still got some couple of spade losers and at least 1 trump to lose here. Now, what are we going to do next? Anyone like to suggest something? Maybe draw trumps.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to be able to cash our clubs unless we've drawn
No.
trumps.
Draw
Now,
trump.
how are you going to draw trumps? Probably the best chance is to hope that the king is in the east hand, and you can maybe make a trick with your queen that way. So what I'm going to do is cross to my hand with the 10 of clubs and lead a heart, planning to play the queen. And if the king was here, we might be in good shape now. So we play the queen. Unfortunately, it loses to the king. And now we can see we're in a bit of trouble because there's still 3 trump out, including the jack and the 10. So we're going to lose 1 more one more trump, and we've still got those spades to deal with. Suppose they play a spade, and suppose we win that. Okay, so now we've got to think carefully about what we do next. And what we're hoping to do is obviously take as many clubs as possible, but we can't afford to draw all the trumps. I mean, if you think about it, if we were trying to draw 2 rounds of trumps, the opponents will get in and we'll be able to cash spades. And East West have already taken 2 tricks, so we can't afford to that happen. What you want to do on this hand, where you now have fairly weak trump, a good plan is to draw 1 round, and if they both follow, then we're back in the situation we started with, where there's 1 high trump out, and we're going to leave it out. We're not going to draw it now, because obviously then they'll be able to cash spades. We're just going to try to take as many clubs as we can, and hopefully get rid of some losers. And if we're reasonably lucky, we'll be able to take 1 club, play another club discarding a spade, and when we play the 3rd club, West of course is able to ruff, but we can discard the spade, and then that's it, because now we're down to all trump and we can make our 10 tricks there. So this was another slightly tricky one that involved careful play of the trump. You were unlucky in the heart suit, but a good idea when you've got weak trump is to try to win the 2nd one, if you like, then leave the last high trump out and go about your other business as your best chance. Okay. Any comments or questions on that? That's taken quite a long time, so we'll end the call there. If you need a partner, would you? If you don't need a partner, that's the end of the call. But if you need a partner, would you speak up now, and I'll see if there's if I can pair people up. All right.